Welcome back to the third video in our series of wild discoveries. This particular one I'm going to introduce you a new system, and then we're going to go and look at a bit of Hebrew, and you'll see how this starts to fit in. No doubt you have questions that you'd like to ask, and you can write comments on the video on the web page, and I'll try as I go through these series to answer questions. Obviously the first few on this series I'm making now, and later on I will start answering questions, so be patient with me and we'll get there. We're going to look at another system today. This system is called the whole value. It's very simple. It takes the large value of something and adds the placement value to it. So we're going to look at our first example, the word piano. Piano has a placement value, PV, of 55. It has a large value, LV, of 300, I'm going to get it right, and 41. And if we add those two together, we get 396, which I call the whole value, WV. So an instrument which is close to the piano is the organ. Has a keyboard like a piano. It has a placement value of 55. It has a large value of 341. You might say they're pretty well close together, they're very identical. And then of course they have the same whole value, which we would expect. Let's try another two sets of words. Present. Present, there are three ways of looking at time. We look at time as the past, the present and the future, the three parts of time. The present isn't the place to change the past. You can't change the past. Now it's gone. You can change the effect that the past has upon you, but actually changing the actual events that have taken place, you've got no power in the present to do that. You do have power in the present to change the future. You can make choices. So we're going to see a connection between the present and the future, but we can't find a connection between the present and the past. So we'll put that word there, future. Present equals 97 in the placement value. In the large value is 550. Add together 647. Future is 91 in the placement value. It has a value of 556 in the large value, and it has the same whole value as present. So we see that future and the present are connected in the whole value system. Another example of this is the first king of Israel, King Saul, who was from the tribe of Benjamin, and really wasn't supposed to be the king. He was asked to be king because the Israelites wanted a king, but they asked too soon. Samuel at the time felt people were rejecting him as their prophet, but he became king. Saul is 53, and his large value is 348, which gives you a total of 401. Since Jacob's promise of kingship was to the tribe of Judah, Saul didn't continue his dynasty through his sons. David came along and took over. David is 40. He's 361, which is 19 squared, a powerful number, and he has a total of 401. So he took over from King Saul. So that's some of the ways we use the whole value. I'm going to show you one other example of the whole value, which is, I have to say, it's probably my favourite, one of my favourite Gematrias. it certainly gets a wow from people when I show it to them. So let's have a look. Okay, we're nearly there. I think these flip balls are made to flip over. We're still going. So we're going to look at the solar leap year cycle of 4 years. The solar leap year 4 cycles, we have 3 normal years of 365 days and 1 leap year of 366 days. So we're going to work out the whole value of these 4 words. 3 years and leap year. We're going to put 3 years and a leap year together to give us our 4 years. They'll work out the placement value all the way down and all the way down here. I'll get 207. That is the Gematria or in Hebrew. 207 is 3 years leap year. Now we do the large value. 107, 49, 73, all the way down. 87, 42, all the way down. And we'll get 1,000. I'm going to check it up so I don't make a mistake. We get 1,254. So I'm going to add those two together because the placement value plus the large value gives me the whole value, and I'll get 1,461. That is the whole value of 3 years and leap year. Now we're going to look at the number of days in those 4 years. Off. Go back to using red. Okay, number of days 365, 365, 365, 366. We add them together, we'll get 1,461. The whole value of 3 years plus a leap year gives you exactly the number of days in that cycle. You can do a similar thing for the Jewish calendar, but I won't do it here at the moment. There's a very similar one which has some very interesting messages in them, and I can also show you how this is connected to the Hebrew calendar as well. There's an interlink between the English and the Hebrew, and interestingly enough, the way the Hebrew cycle of the leap years works is so that it can fit into the solar year. So otherwise the festivals and the Jewish calendar will start shifting as they do in Islam through the year. And we wouldn't have the Passover, which is called the Festival of Spring. It'll end up in winter, summer, and go through the year. So those festivals have to be at this particular season. So there's an integration between the English or the secular calendar and the Jewish calendar. I won't go into that now. You can actually read about that, and it's significant in this book here called Gimel Tammuz. Gimel Tammuz is the Hebrew date of when Joshua told the sun and the moon to stand still when during the conquest of Canaan after Moses' death, that Joshua conquered the land of Canaan and the Amorites came out against the Israelites and actually came out against the Gibeonites, but Joshua and his merry men, his army, came out in the aid of the Gibeonites, and in order to win the battle, he told the sun and the moon to stand still so that it would be a continuous day. But it's a little bit more complicated than that, whether this moon was actually creating an ellipse of the sun at that time, and strange things took place. I do explain at the end a possible scientific mechanism by which the sun and the moon could stop still for a period of time. And I discussed about the solar eclipse and the Jewish calendar and English calendar and the significance of these in the events that are going to be coming up in the near future. which I'm not going to talk about just yet. Okay, we'll end there, and next video, part 4, we're going to look into some Hebrew Gematria and see how they relate to English.